Zach Wilson kicks off his sophomore season in the NFL, but will it be an improvement from last year? We're going to dive into that very shortly. Before we get into it, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. You can also hit the bell icon. You'll never miss another video again. But let's dive into it. Looking at Zach Wilson, 3-10 last year. A little over 2,000 yards, 9 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, passer rating that's below 70, completion percentage is in the 55% range. Wasn't a great year for Zach Wilson. There wasn't a lot of protection either from the offensive line, and I don't think he really had much going on with his receivers. He developed some sort of a rapport with Elijah Moore, and of course, Corey Davis is there. Braxton Berrios at the end of the season came on strong. But there hasn't really been a ton of talent around him until this season. The Jets went out and they drafted Garrett Wilson. They went out and they signed a duo of tight ends. They also drafted one that's going to be more long-term. The duo that I'm really excited about for Zach Wilson especially is CJ Uzomah and Tyler Conklin, two guys that can both help you in the passing game but can also very much block effectively. So that is going to be a big time piece there. You look at the offensive line across the board. You got George Fant coming off his best year. You have Elijah Vera Tucker going into year 2. You have Connor McGovern, who's a pretty solid center in his own right. I think he's underrated to a degree. You have Mekhi Becton coming back. He really didn't play much last year at all, and I think that part of that was a big reason why Zach Wilson found himself running for his life the whole season. He was a very key contributor, hopefully, to this offensive line, coming into the last year. It didn't end up happening, so now he is going to be back. That's going to be huge. And they signed Laken Tomlinson, who's a former Pro Bowler in his own right, in this same scheme, going back with the 49ers, and Mike LaFleur, who, of course, is now with the Jets. So I love that fit. I love the tight ends that they added. I like Jeremy Ruckert, although I don't expect him to play a ton this year. Normally, rookie tight ends really don't blow up. That's just not how it goes. But they also added Breece Hall to the running back room, a guy that's probably going to take over as the number one back in that backfield, can help you in the passing game, can help you in pass pro, and of course can help you in the running game. And this is a guy that had over 800 touches while at Iowa State, so this is somebody that has plenty of experience, and he's going to be able to carry the load if need be. Not only that, you had great contribution last year out of Michael Carter, and so Zach Wilson has himself a myriad of talent around him, not to mention a pretty good defense on paper. I think we're going to see a different type of year from Zach Wilson. So this is the start of the 2022 season stat projections for the Jets. I'll also be doing some for the Rams as well. All the key players, since I cover both teams on this channel. And we're starting off with Zach Wilson, the Jets. And these are my projections. So fair warning, they're going to be different than probably most people. I'm expecting a pretty big year for Zach Wilson, a pretty big turnaround, and so we're going to dive right into it here. I have 355 completions to 532 attempts for 4,191 passing yards. Look, I understand that's a lot. I do. Last year, he only threw 383 passes in 13 games. But I think really, Zach Wilson has a huge opportunity here. A lot of talent. You can go deep down the field to a Garrett Wilson. You can go deep down the field to Elijah Moore. You can go deep down the field to Corey Davis. But on top of that, I think the short and intermediate game is also taken care of with all those three guys. You have Berrios. We'll see what happens with Mims and Jeff Smith, who I do have making the roster. And then the tight ends, I think, are going to be utilized. They can help you in the seam busters as well. They can help you in the red zone. So he's got a lot of weapons at his disposal. Not to mention Michael Carter's ability out of the backfield as a pass catcher was proven last year. He can be like a Nyheim Hines in this backfield. So I'm looking at that and I'm thinking there's a lot around him. Not only that, what he can do with his legs. So I'm thinking a big year for him. 30 touchdowns is what I ended up coming to as far as passing. 13 interceptions. Look, I understand that might be a little high. I don't know if people are willing to kind of give Zach Wilson this bump in production, going from 9 touchdowns last year to 30 is to 21 touchdown hike. I get it, but I believe in this guy, and I believe that they have done a nice job of putting pieces around him. The guy is, just really committed. You can see he's committed to being their quarterback. I think, and this is the impressive thing about him, because, you have the Geno Smiths of the world. I mean, New York is a tough market. It's a big market. It's tough to play there. And I think Wilson is up to the occasion here. He's up for it. And this is somebody that's adding pounds. You talk about just how much he's improved, just hearing from the coaches. This is somebody that clearly is on the path to success. And the key is to be comfortable as a quarterback. And I think the Jets did their best. The front office and player personnel and coaching staff and all of that did their best to really put him in a position where, he's got a guy that he can rely on and grow with in Elijah Moore. But on top of that, they signed Corey Davis last offseason. They go out and they get Garrett Wilson, another Wilson there. But I do really like what they've done. And so that's why I came to the conclusion he's going to go over 4,000 yards passing. He's going to have 30 touchdowns on the season. He's going to have 13 interceptions. I don't think that's bad. He had 11 last year. I think he's going to, tone it down this year. I also think it's really going to help him having all those weapons. But he'll still throw interceptions. This guy, he's going to take chances. He might have a couple where, Jets fans are ripping their hair out, but you just got to live with it. This is a guy that's going to get better, I think, each year. And this is going to be a step in the right direction for Jets fans there. But on top of that, I also have 30 carries for 204 yards and 5 touchdowns. So that's right. I have Zach Wilson. You did not hear me wrong. Scoring 35 touchdowns on the new season. 2 fumbles I also projected there. But in total, you have a 99.1 passer rating. It's a big year for Wilson, okay? It's going to be a tough season, not going to lie. The Jets do not have a favorable schedule in the slightest. But I think this is a team that's going to be a hard out. And I think a big reason is because I expect Zach Wilson to take the next step this year. And I'll be straightforward here. I think Zach Wilson's in the best position of any of the quarterbacks that came out in that class. You talk about Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville. He's in a decent spot. I think, looking at Doug Peterson, I think he's going to keep him in the right position. And I think he could make some strides. But I really do like Zach Wilson to be the number 1 quarterback this year out of that draft class. I think Trey Lance is somebody you obviously have to keep in mind. I think Justin Fields now, away from Matt Nagy, is somebody, especially down the stretch. But that's the thing, down the stretch. And that's something that I really appreciated looking at Zach Wilson's game. At the end of the season, you started to see a guy that was showing flashes of brilliance and why he was drafted number 2 overall. Look, Trevor Lawrence being drafted ahead of him isn't the craziest thing, and Justin Fields being drafted after him isn't the craziest thing, because this guy has proven, in a sense, that he does belong in the NFL. Now he's got to prove in what capacity, and I think this year is the first step to proving that he is indeed the Jets franchise quarterback. So again, I think it's going to be a big year for him. 30 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. He's going to run for 5 touchdowns. He didn't run for a ton last year. He was sacked 44 times, and he was pressured as much as anybody in the game. As long as this offensive line keeps him upright, I just don't see this guy struggling this year. I think maybe he starts off a little slow, but I really was impressed with his tape at the end of the season, and I'm really impressed with the job the Jets did to get players in position for him to succeed. So yes, maybe bold, and I've been known to go a little bold. I had Matthew Stafford throwing 50 touchdowns last year, throwing for 5,000 yards, winning MVP, and winning the Super Bowl. I got one of those right. But I do think Zach Wilson is going to be in for a significant increase in production. So maybe a little crazy. These are my projections. I already have everything sorted out, so it's not that I just put some random stats together. Everything is going to reflect how I have it with Zach Wilson, meaning when I cover Elijah Moore and Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson and Corey Davis and all that, I do all those videos, they're all going to, add up to what Zach Wilson is throwing. I'm not just pulling numbers out of the sky. So that's how I have it. Again, I think Zach Wilson could be in the running for a Pro Bowl bid. I'm not saying the Jets are 100% going to make the playoffs or anything like that, but they're certainly a team to watch. I think Zach Wilson's going to be must-see football this year. That's going to do it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did, be sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Be sure to like the video. And be sure to leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Where do you think Zach Wilson ends up at the end of 2022? What are we talking? Backup? Are we talking about a bust? Are we talking about a star? Are we kind of siding with me? Where are you on the Zach Wilson debate? That's what I want to know. Take care, guys. Later.